Hey guys, welcome back to Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics. Today I have kind of a quick diagnosis, quick repair tip video on this 2004 Ford Explorer. It's got the 4.0 V6, four-wheel drive, 165,000 miles on the odometer. So, you know, pretty well used, but still they want it to last a while longer. But first I'll share with you what I think of these Ford trucks. I do like the concept, and you know, the engine power, that's the torque is good, as any proper American SUV should have. But some of the other details are kind of you know. Like, for example, common issues on these. The rear coil springs break. Now this one already has been replaced before I got to it, but I think a real truck should have a solid axle in the back. None of this low clearance, you know, CV axles and little dinky coil springs. I mean, come on. It does have a real frame. So it's not a real off-road machine, if you know what I mean. I mean, even compared to my XL7 there hiding in the back, that thing will outdo this Explorer, no problem. What other common issues? I just replaced both front hubs, the wheel bearings. Those are a treat to get out with a slide hammer. So those are shot, play, and they're squealing. Again, you know, 160,000 miles, I guess that's not bad. But, you know, some cars do last longer. Transmissions in these things, yeah, sometimes they just failed, no warning, even at low mileage. This one, she did complain that it was kind of surging a little bit when you're cruising about 50 miles an hour. I did take it for a test drive, and when the torque converter locks up and your speed starts to drop, it kind of starts shuddering, kicking. So I don't know if that's a sign for things to come. And the wise Ford engineers didn't even include a dipstick for the transmission. I mean, that is one thing that really, you know, a pet peeve of mine is all the fluids should be easily checked with a dipstick. And they have this kind of like German engineering Audi style plug on the bottom of the tranny where you have to use special equipment to even check the fluid level, to fill it. It's just a big pain. I mean, you know, I was looking for the dipstick. Nope, nothing there. And a friend of mine with a 2002 model, he actually had to replace first his transfer case, then his transmission. Also, these things eat ball joints. Luckily, these are fine. I don't know if they've been replaced before. They look kind of fresh. So those might have been done previously. But the whole truck kind of just falls apart, you know, after 150,000 miles, which, I don't know, maybe it's typical for a Ford, but with imports, that generally doesn't happen, you know, at least not all at once. And then it has a decent sized leak here from the windshield, so you know, I tried a little silicone job across the top seal. We'll see how that works or not. So one last detail here, customer complaint. She says that on her AC system, or HVAC, there's not enough airflow through the vents. Like, she has to turn it on 4, and then there's, you know, not enough airflow coming through no matter which position this guy's in. So let's try to figure out, you know, see what is going on, try the different positions, and see if we can locate the issue. So looking at all data and just feeling this thing, it's not electric, and there are no cables. It's a vacuum actuated system. kind of like I think some Chevys used vacuum actuators for their blend doors and the airflow doors. Now this system, the temperature just has an electronic stepper motor actuator, but the positions here, there are 4 separate doors that are actuated by this vacuum switch. So to do any diagnosis to begin with, you need vacuum source, so obviously the truck needs to be running. So let's start it up. Actually has auxiliary. You actually hear there's a knocking in the back. And that's a typical problem when the temperature control actuator is trying to turn the door to get to a certain position, and it just can't because the plastic gears are stripped out. See, it's not knocking anymore. And yeah, so those actuators aren't cheap either, and that's what happens to the front one too, but luckily in our case that still works. But we're after the door position, so let's turn the fan on, and okay, let's set it to the vents. Now you'll have to take my word for it. There's just a very, very slight, almost nothing actually coming through. Now let's check our defrost. There's actually a lot more going up here and a little bit towards the feet. Not much. So let's check the different positions. Okay, that's the foot position. See, not much changed. Defrost, there's still a lot of air coming up here. Almost no change. Probably a little less air towards the feet. So, yeah, let's do a little research on the system first. So with the truck off, you can actually hear the vacuum actuator is still working, so there must be some kind of reservoir. And I assume you do this a couple times and it'll deplete the vacuum. So see now, there's no sound anymore. So let's see which how many. There are 4 doors. I already looked that up, but let's look at some of the specifics. So here we're on all data, and for stuff like this, yep, it's worth the $150 a month subscription fee, because this information, I mean, you're not going to find it on Google or anywhere else unless you look really hard and spend hours. But anyways, first let's so we got our 2004 Ford Explorer pulled up, heating and air conditioning components. So first I want to see what this vacuum actuator hose diagram looks like. So we go down to our diagrams, vacuum and vapor hose. Alright, and we have the manual climate control system. Alright, here's our main diagram. So it's almost like a wiring diagram, but it all has to do with vacuum lines. So we can see right here is our source from the engine. There's a reservoir, then there's a controller for the heater quart for the coolant flow, and then this is our main switch. And right here, see number 19 is the function selector switch. And it goes to all of our air control doors. So we have this one right here is our fresh air recirc, and then we have 3 doors for Let's see, this one's defrost, this one is the vents on the dash, and this one goes to the floor. And they actually give a you know, the numbers there, and then the hoses, the colors, and then this is interesting. So you have your function, you know, the position of the switch, and then which of the hoses has vacuum or no vacuum, so V and NV. So like in panel, our panel door would have vacuum, but our floor would not. And let's continue down here. And our defrost door would not have vacuum. So I guess if you lose all vacuum, then it defaults to defrost open and everything else closed. So that's good information. So let's focus on the panel door, and we have to find out the actual location of these actuators. I mean, this is just a schematic, but where is it on the truck? So for that, let's go back. Let's see here. So probably air door. Air door actuator motor. Description, service and repair. Let's see. Locations. Temperature blend door. No, that's not quite it. I guess service and repair vacuum control motor. Okay, so let's see. We're interested in the panel door. Okay, this guy says lower the glove compartment box. That's what it looks like. And I guess it should be right near the glove box somewhere. So this one should be fairly easy to get to. I think some of the other ones are buried in there. So let's go back to the truck and see if we can find this actuator. So first let's get this glove box out of the way. Take all the stuff out. It's pretty easy. Just pop these guys in and it'll come right down. Now let's see what's inside. Alright, I got a little lighting set up here. So let's see. See, these are vacuum hoses. This blue one here, this red one there, and you can see there's an actuator, and there's another one right there. So let's turn the truck on and play around with the modes and see if these guys work. Alright, so we're on off right now, so let's engage the panel. Okay, see that guy moved in, and I think we found our problem. It's not really attached to anything, right? So the actuator works. Alright, so what is this supposed to be attached to? See this little guy right here? The little flapper? That's the door, it looks like, to the vents. So when it's on, it's in vent position right now, it's actually, you know, the vacuum supplied here. It should pull on this flapper, and you can see probably there's a plastic pin here at one point that just snapped off. And that's why you're not getting any airflow to the vents. So let's try manually, you know, putting it up here and see if we have airflow. Can you feel that? Is it nice and cool? Oh yeah. So we do have airflow right now. So that's definitely our issue. So what would you do in this case? I don't think you want to replace the whole door assembly. I mean, that little guy, I don't know if there's a screw in there or not. But I mean, we have to fix this right now, and I don't feel like waiting for parts. So maybe what we can do is somehow just fix this in the open position, right? Because every vent has a manual, you know, shut-off wheel. So basically the vents will be on all the time, but if you want to shut them off, you can just turn the little wheel, and that will, I don't know, I think the customer will be happy about that if they at least work at all. So let me see if I can rig something up here, and we'll go from there. Alright, I want to see what you guys think of this fix. This is Ford approved. Alright, so the actuator is fully out. I took the vacuum line off, so it'll stay in that extended position. The vacuum line itself, I just put a little screw in here so we wouldn't have any vacuum leaks. So that's just gonna hang out there. And I stuffed a piece of military grade foam between the arm here and the flapper, so that's in the open position. Alright. And that's it. Just leave it like that. So now when we turn our fan on, get nice airflow through the vents, and the actuator, obviously we don't it's not going to move anywhere. We don't want that foam, you know, dropping out. So yeah, there you go. Takes 1 minute, no parts required, and you know, she'll be nice and cool with the dash vents. Thanks for watching, guys.